Welcome to another episode of Around the World in San Francisco, here with your host, MichaelNiktaris, CEO of Aquarius 3E LLC. As you can see here, I am in San Francisco, south of Market Street, and it's evening. Right now, the light is really pretty. You're going to see some nice buildings here. But I want to go into some things that have been going on. Something that a lot of people probably heard about was that John McAfee, the founder of that antivirus that we probably all remember when we were younger, McAfee antivirus, he died from apparently a suicide in a Spanish prison. And he was supposed to be extradited back into the United States. It's very skeptical, as to if that really is what happened. As we know, what happened recently with Jeffrey Epstein, that just because they say that someone committed suicide in a jail cell when, he said before to many of his friends who were calling him that he was not suicidal, does not mean that they did that, right? So we don't know what exactly happened, and I don't really know too much about John McAfee. I'm learning about it as I go here. I'm just sharing this information, this news, because I just learned about it. But I want to go over something that he said to a journalist. I'm actually going to play a video clip here, and so you guys take a listen and see what this has to say.
Just out of curiosity, how do you feel, as it's just so the viewer knows and I know, how do you feel about Trump as a president himself?
I like Trump.
Okay, got it.
Like
So
Trump.
you're not saying anything where indirectly you're taking a shot at Trump, saying because he's got a lot of followers, he became a president. That's not your point.
I think, first of all, I think the Twitter move was very smart. He bypasses, because presidents are held hostage by the media. You get to do a press conference, they get to edit what they want. They get to put in there their own skew, their own color, their own flavor to what you have said. You can do it easily enough by simply cutting things out, reorganizing things in terms of time sequence or whatever, or focusing on the biggest faux pas that you made. Well, no. If you are doing it yourself in these tiny bites of 100 and 280 characters, the media is locked out. The media is shut out. They have no more power, no more control. Thank God for that.
They hate that.
The good. They should. No disrespect to you and you guys, but honestly, this is what is wrong with this country.
So definitely interesting. As you can see here, I'm stopped at looking at an AMC Theaters. As some of you know, AMC right now is going through what we are calling a short squeeze, where basically a lot of people are investing in the company and expecting the price to go really, really high. I've shared with this on other videos, so let me keep going with my train of thought. What John McAfee said there about Trump using Twitter was what I was saying all along. Trump was bypassing the mainstream media, right? So a lot of people say like, why is he tweeting so much? I don't want to read all those tweets, but that was his way of communicating, right? Because with Twitter, he could communicate an idea, an image, a message instantly, right, all around the world. And people say, well, why does he have to tweet so much? And the thing is that each tweet may not be for every person, right? One tweet is for like a specific person, specific demographic, right? And that's what he was doing. And I think it was brilliant. I think it was organized. I even think the way that he did it, where he's kind of like brash and it's quote unquote mean, right, was all intentional, right? Because instead of the news being revolved around the MSM, mainstream media, which is the enemy of the people, it's not for people, right? The media, the news revolved around his Twitter, right? His social media accounts. So I think that was absolutely brilliant. The next thing I want to talk about is, it's some uncertain times that we're in, right? And, at least for me, how I look and I manage these things is I try to live my life without fear. And that doesn't mean that, I go running into the street saying, I'm not afraid of being hit by a car, that sort of thing. It's not what I do. As you can see here, I'm on my bike. I try to be as safe as I can, right? But, anything can happen out there, right? But the main principle behind it is that I just keep going, right? I don't let the possibility of something bad happening stop me from living my life and doing the best that I can, because at least for me, what I believe is everything is controlled by the heavens. So, if the heavens want to take me out for whatever reason, they would take me out, right? On my bike or wherever I may be. So anyway, let's get back into some other current affairs. There was a bridge that collapsed in Washington, D.C. I believe that the universe is a big brain, right? The universe is alive, it thinks. And so when these sort of things happen, right, that's a sign, that's a tell for like what's going on in DC, right? And I think that the sort of deep state, the powers that have been in there are crumbling, they're falling apart, and it's being reflected here, with what happened, with that bridge falling, with that bridge collapsing. The next thing I want to talk about is, Joe Biden was talking about the Second Amendment, and he was saying basically that if Americans want to arm themselves against the government, they're going to need more than guns. They're going to need F-15s and nuclear weapons. And I think that's a really irresponsible thing to say because at least for me, I don't own guns and I don't plan on owning guns, but I understand why the Second Amendment is there. And when he says something like that, that really enrages the people on the right, and enrages even more the people on the extreme right. So the reason that I don't own guns and I don't plan to is because I have nothing to lose. If people want to take my life, whatever, they're gonna take it. But I have nothing but love and compassion and joy in my heart. So I have nothing to fear. I have nothing people can take from me. If they want to take my bike, whatever, go ahead and take it. I'll just get another bike somehow, right? But the reason that the Second Amendment is there is because every single civilization and society that has disarmed their people, what's ended up happening is that those societies become like dictatorial regimes, right? And that's no good. We don't want that, do we? I don't think that's something that we want. So anyway, let's keep moving on. Some other news. The Warriors. This is going into sports a little bit. We can move away from some hot topics. The Warriors. They got the 7th round pick in the draft, who they got from the Minnesota Timberwolves for a trade for D'Angelo Russell last year. Oh man, look at this shot. You can see my shadow, right? With the blue sky. That's really pretty. I'm like kind of way out there right now. This is like in kind of like South San Francisco. But anyway, so the Warriors got a 7th round pick and Andrew Wiggins for D'Angelo Russell. And that's pretty exciting because the 7th round pick, that's a pretty high pick. The last 3 times they picked number 7, they drafted Harrison Barnes, Stephen Curry, and Chris Mullin. So those are some good players. Hopefully the Warriors can keep adding to their nucleus that they have there, and they should be getting Klay Thompson back next year. So, I have some issues, right, with sports. A lot of it has become a little bit too woke. But I think even within the sports community, I think people know that. So I don't want to completely disregard sports, because there should be sports, and after everything gets solved, right, and things return more back to normal, I think sports will continue. But, for the Warriors to get those picks, that's really exciting, and I'm pretty happy about that. So you can see me here I went really far for this ride. I went really far, and I'm kind of happy about that, because sometimes I stay kind of there in the city and don't get to see this part of the city. I'm hoping to upgrade to a new bike. They have these bikes that can go like 100 miles, these electric bikes, right? My bike, I can only go about 25 or so. So I'd be able to go 4 times as long, meaning I can go further and I can be out there longer. So I'm really looking forward to that. And in any case, I'm just gonna tune out here and just let the ride go, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Keep following your heart, your intuition. Oh, there you see some homeless people out there. It's pretty sad, right? There's a lot of tents out here. But anyway, keep following your heart, your intuition. Be the best person you can be. Be a positive example, a shining light to the people around you, because everybody's going through their own struggle. Everybody's trying their best. And just understand, there is good and there is evil in the world. So, whatever your thinking aligns with, that's where you end up becoming. Where can the evil really take you, right? Isn't it destruction in the end? And nobody really wants destruction, right? So with that, thank you for your time, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Around the World in San Francisco.